Hello everybody and welcome to another player ratings or Manchester United player ratings video here on the Red Devils Report. United 2, Viktoria Plzn, I think we're calling them, 1. Ropey first half, very decent second half, probably should have scored more. Anyway, let's get straight into these ratings. One thing I'm going to change: in my last ratings video, I was giving players who had an average performance a 6. From now on, I'm going to try and do it more literally, so a 5 is an average rating instead of doing what a kind of ratings app would do on say like Footmob or something, where they give someone a 5 or give someone a 6 as like a base rating. That is now going to be a 5 for me, just so it's easier to kind of distinguish whether I think someone's played well or not. Yeah, again, using the United Stand player ratings, the only thing I could find, I will look for something else. But let's get straight in. Onana, I think he was completely fine, except for the fact that he made one really stupid pass, which I do think Delit also has to get blamed for, but in a game where he had relatively little to do, I think he made a bad decision and you get a 4. Lucky he is, although I do think the attack should get more blame than him, but he will likely get a lot of kind of abuse on social media for that. Nusayr Mazraoui, yeah, again, he's going to get a 6. Better than average, didn't really have too much to do, but even when he lost the ball, just tackles, gets in there, stuck in, and he obviously cares for the badge. Delit, not as at fault for for the Onana mistake, or what will be labelled as an Onana mistake, but he should have wanted the ball, and I don't think that'll stick with Ruben Amorim. I think Delit is going to have his place in jeopardy if he can't learn to want the ball a little bit more. Overall, a fine performance. I think yet again he looks calm on the ball. He's trying his best to do what he can. Give him a 5. Martinez. I think he was better. He was better than Delit, so I'm gonna give him a 6. But yeah, again, I mean, I don't really get how Delit gets a better performance rating, but people do what they want. Delo, I think Delo is really proving that he isn't good enough to play for Amorim anymore. I think I'm going to give him a 5 as well. He didn't make a mistake in general, but just he's been given his first chance against a weak side to play in what people are claiming is his preferred position. But when he does play, yeah, again, not a great performance. Casemiro, I'm going to give him a 5 or 6. But I think I'm going to give him a 5 because I think his passing was loose. I think you see when a guy comes on, it's all precise and, takes touches and is impacting stuff positively. But when you see Casemiro on that ball, just a few times the touch was loose, bad pass. Sometimes he tries first time stuff and it doesn't work. I just don't think he should be playing for us anymore. I think as soon as possible he needs to go. Incredible player in his prime years. Even that one season he had for us, and he had a bit of resurgence last couple of weeks of Ten Hag's reign, but I just don't think when we're trying to play good football he can play for us. Bruno, probably my first higher rating. I think people will say Bruno played incredibly well today. I don't think he did. I think he made a lot of mistakes again. I think he's still adapting to that centre midfield role. I think I'm going to be nice and give him an 8, only because I think the last 20 minutes, if it wasn't for him, then I think we would have ended up losing the game, if I'm honest. Just overall play, the urgency and the actual want. Also, should have had an assist. I'm not sure how Højlund didn't score. Get to that in a bit. But I think I probably... You know what? No, I'm not going to give him an 8. I think an 8's a little bit overdone. I think a 7.5 would be my perfect score for him. That's lovely. A 7.5 for him would be my perfect score, but I'd say it leans more towards a 7 than an 8, just because he made quite a lot of mistakes. And for him, that's not a great game compared to everyone else. It might be, but for him, not great. Malacia, 6. I think he had a better night tonight. Nothing wrong defensively. I think there was worse players than him in the first half in terms of attacking, and I think he's proven that he can at least be a backup for now under Amorim. I think he did better than Delo's been doing it, the left wing back role, and I'd like to see him play a bit more in some of these type of games. Ahmad, um, well, not his best game today, but I think he proved that he's a bit of a Bruno, where his worst games are going to be better than everyone else's average games. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. I think he was as crucial as Bruno. Them two lit up the last bit of the game. Um, I mean, the nutmeg was brilliant. I think he had some poor moments in the counter attack. If we had scored one of those, he would have easily had an 8. But honestly, brilliant performance from Ahmad in terms of keeping on going. But I think some of the stuff that we've seen from him recently, driving with the ball, he just didn't get to do it as much today because he didn't get the ball as much. But I like seeing him in the 10 role. I think it suits him more. People might disagree because we had one bad game there, and he's been great at wing back. But I think in the bigger games, this is where he should stick to. Rashford, sad really, isn't it? I think people will be giving him a 4. I think I'm gonna have to. Not his best game. I mean a 3. If you're giving him a 3, 2, or a 1, you are just a bell end. Um, but him and Xerxes, I'm gonna do them as a bunch. Xerxes had one incredible run, but Xerxes, I love Rashford. I'm probably gonna make a video on the potential sale of him and how I completely disagree. Despite my agenda against Garnacho, I think it's completely fair what I will say in that video. But Rashford today, that if that's consistent, yeah, I think that's the worst he's played in a while, to be honest. But I do think everyone had a bad game in the first half. If he had stayed on second, it might have been different for him, but not great. Xerxes in general, though, as I said, one great moment. The rest, I don't see why we ever bought him. Dan Ashworth's gone now, and for a reason. Joshua Xerxes obviously was one of his signings. I've seen reports about that as well. And if we're honest, if that was his signing, then Mazraoui was a great signing. What's his name? The Lit proven to be pretty decent. Well, we needed him as well. A guy who's been a really good signing, but if we're honest, Joshua Xerxes is a complete failure and does not match any profile. He wouldn't have worked in Ten Hag's system, let alone now Amarim's system. So I think it's just proven to be a complete train wreck and probably one of our worst signings in terms of the actual player, not the money. Because, I mean, we've only paid 10 mil for him so far, but I just don't think he's been worth it at all. I would like to see academy players step up and get the chance instead of him. It's to that extent now. I think it would be better for the club if we just moved him on as soon as possible. Forget about that signing. Agate 5, I think he came on. He had that one moment where he got spun about 3 times in the midfield, but I think, yeah, again, just proven he is our probably most influential defensive minded player other than Mazraoui, and even then I do think he holds down a lot more than Mazraoui, has a bigger job, and he does it very well. I think unlucky to get a 6, but he didn't have enough time on the pitch. Anthony, I'm gonna give him a 5. Had some really bad shots and a touch or two that just went out, but he created a chance that we got a goal from. Honestly, I think he positively impacted the game, and I don't think he was as bad. I would rather him keep getting a chance than players like Dallo, because Dallo's been here for ages now, and no, maybe that's not the excuse. Anthony's been there for a while as well, but Anthony hasn't got the amount of chances that a player like Dallo's had, and he may not be good enough, but try him in different roles. We've tried players like Dallo in these roles and it hasn't worked. Try Anthony in different roles. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does work, like today, which it obviously did, because even with some poor moments, he was running, getting the ball and created a goal. I think it's just worth trying players like Anthony, even if it's not him. And I see another one here we could try in a similar position. I think I just think it was positive bringing him on. Not a great performance, but not a bad one. Mason Mount, 6, incredibly impactful today, I think he has to start on Sunday. I think there's no way about it now. I think he should be starting every single week for United, to be honest. He is not not a showstopper like some players. Marcus Rashford might cut in and bang one from 30 yards out, same with Garnacho, but those two are clearly not good enough to play in the system. They both can't play in that left-hand role, and when Mason Mount came on today, he might have missed that one chance, although I do think that shot was actually a good shot. People are afraid to say it, but 9 times out of 10, the keeper doesn't sit on that ball, and you get a goal from it. I think he's really good today, Mount. I think he's the reason we ended up winning, because he came on and was so kind of influential in opening up spaces, playing the simple ball, and calming everyone down. I think he has to start from now on. He will raise everyone's levels, and it'll just impact us a lot more, I think. And he's a safer option than a lot of these players. That's what we really need right now. Alejandro Garnacho, I'm gonna give him a 5. I think he's better in. I mean, that's pathetic. You can tell it's the United Sound ratings because people are completely sucking him off. I think he's better as a wing back. Apparently, he was moaning about playing at wing back, but I think he needs to get his ego out and his fucking head out his ass, and just play football because he has proven not to be good enough in that left end role, just like Rashford has. And I think he should be stuck in that left wing back role at least once or twice more, because I think he might play better there. I do think, I mean, at the end when he tried to knock it round someone and run instead of just booting the ball up, silly decision making. But if you iron out some of that sort of stuff, I think he could play there and be better, because he's a touchline winger, that's what he's about. But if he doesn't work there, I also think he needs to be sold. If you're going to sell Rashford, I think you have to sell Garnacho, because they've been used as the same type of player and both haven't worked. But in terms of today, I don't think he really did much. I mean, didn't really do much wrong, didn't do much right, so you can't really say much about it. Højlund 8. I'm gonna give him man of the match as well. 2 goals. He should have scored another one, but that turn and finish on that second goal is absolutely ridiculous. The touch isn't great either, which I love about it, because you know strikers shouldn't have to always have the perfect touch at their feet to turn and score. He made best out of what he had made for himself, if that makes sense. He didn't complain about, the touch, and he just slotted it away. I mean, I think I've explained that pretty badly. What I'm trying to grasp at is the fact that he made best out of a bad situation, especially with the pitch. I've forgotten to mention that the pitch was awful today. Yeah, the amount of times you've seen people's knees just bounce off of dirt. Yeah, again, another voice crack. Please stop. But I think this guy, he's a mainstay in the United squad for the next coming years. Right now, hate to try and glamour everything up, but it is looking like we might have our own Gyökeres. Obviously, maybe not as good yet, but he is 21 and he is scoring goals for fun at the minute. You just hope that he stays in form, stays fit, and Amram keeps trusting him. But he is obviously starting on Sunday, and if he doesn't, I will have a huge problem. Amram, first half, I think wasn't his fault. I think the players just he's trying to rotate, and in the end, if we've rotated and won the game, even being 2-1, I honestly I think it's more than just a positive win for us today. I'm gonna give him an 8. People can say what they want, see 6.4 there, but he rotated the team. We conceded because of a mistake between 2 players, more on the goalkeeper probably. And Amram would have wanted Dillit to be in and want that ball more, so it wouldn't have been anything to do with his ideas. One of the goals came from general play, which was nice, came from his subs. He has proven so far to be incredibly good with subs. 5 subs every game. He rotates well and he trusts players. Doesn't matter who you are, you're in jeopardy of being out the squad if you don't play well enough. And Ruben Amorim is ruthless, which I love. And people may say 8's a little bit high for him, but if I'm honest, we've won 2-1 in Europe away against a team who haven't lost at home in Europe since I think it was 2 years ago against Barcelona. So I have no complaints. I think Amrim has coached the team here, at least with the squad he's got right now. That's probably one of the best results we could have got. We were never going to win by a ton of goals, and I think he rotated and played the game pretty well. First half, as I said, wasn't his fault. Second half, when he brought on the subs, perfect subs, and I think we won the game because of his decision making. And overall, I think he had a decent game. If I was going to give him anything else, it would be a 7. He's nowhere near a 9 or a 10. That is perfection as a result. But that's my ratings. Man of the match, Højlund. I think obviously you're going to get that, especially on the United stand. Another player they do like to have a field day with. But yeah, tell me what you think of that game in the comments. Who was your man of the match? I mean, you'd assume it's Højlund. Maybe it's not. Who did you like today? Who didn't you like today? And like and subscribe. Make sure you're here for the next match ratings. Maybe some more videos coming up.